Well, welcome back to yet another Buffalo Bills pregame. This is a bit of a special show, and we do appreciate y'all tuning in. Today, instead of focusing on the upcoming game, we are instead going to focus on the stadium that has been maybe the new Rockpile once they tear it down. Ralph Wilson Stadium, Highmark Stadium, whatever you want to call it. The building that many have called church on Sunday throughout Bills Mafia for decades is coming to an end, at least the Bills' times there. And we are here as members of Buffalo Bills pregame to talk about it with you. Almost our entire cast is here. We got Jared, we got Sean, we got Dan. Thank you all so much for hanging out. And I will take the chance of being the first one to talk to share my favorite memories of the stadium, or at least one of them. As I was telling the guys beforehand, my first apartment ever was right near the stadium, and I was living with a bunch of bandmates, and we were way into music and falling in love with the Grateful Dead. And so, more than one occasion, me and my friends would let's take recordings and portable speakers of the concerts that took place at the stadium, and then take some and just walk around the empty stadium on a random Wednesday night at 2 in the morning and just take in the air of all the amazing things that has happened like in that space. And that's only just a part of the reverence that I hold for that stadium. And I've got a little bit more to share about my experience there working there this year. But let's hear someone else talk for a minute. Dan, what are your favorite moments of being there at the stadium?
Well, I think in terms of game wise, I'm gonna go with the Bills Patriots 2011 game. I think that was just like an unreal experience to be. Like it felt like we really were getting somewhere, when they won that game. But growing up in Hamburg, 5 minute drive from the stadium, it feels like something where, our family's been going to games for a long time, well before I was born, going back to the rock pile. I think my dad said his first game was Bills Jets. Joe Namath was the quarterback. So us Rileys, we've been going to the games for a long time, and now it's like for that to be coming to an end is obviously going to be bittersweet. Sitting in section 124 and having probably 95% of my viewing experience be from the exact same spot is definitely been an interesting experience. But I really the stadium's awesome. There's no really terrible seats. The way where if you go to MetLife or stadiums like that where there's a lot of unsavory views. I feel like Ralph Wilson Stadium or Highmark Stadium has no bad views there. And it's really just an old school stadium. You look at it, it's got that feel, like Lambeau or, Arrowhead, which is going to be closing, or, Soldier Field. All those stadiums, really just has an old school feel to it, and that's why I think we all really have come to appreciate that stadium.
Old school for sure, and seeing behind the scenes, you can tell that they've made the decision not to invest in fixing anything for some time now, like held together by spit and bubble gum in the back. My sales went down this past week because the breaker popped because of all the wetness. So it's pretty crazy how the customer facing side and the employee facing side is quite different. Sean, we'll go to you next. Any distinct memories that you have from the stadium? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I would say the New England game too was going to be mine, but to make it more interesting for everyone, definitely the Dallas Monday night game. It was Monday night. It just how much crappy the Dallas fans were, and then the Giants game a couple years before that might have been around the same year. It was like pouring rain, both miserable games, and then just being there as a kid, watching them beat the Detroit Lions every year in the preseason was always really fun. Watch Kids Day fireworks when I was smaller. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you can beat that New England game, but as far as other ones, those are pretty memorable for me.
It must have been great for Ralph Wilson to watch the Detroit get beat every year too. My first game might be the most memorable there, and it is also a bad weather game. So that's interesting that a lot of us have cold weather, bad weather correlations with memories of the game. My first game was a playoff, it was in I think the second year of the Super Bowl run, a wild card game at home against the Houston Oilers. At the time was the coldest game in Bills history. And as a young Mormon child, I distinctly remember two young men in our section standing there the whole game with their shirts off, just chugging beer. And I could not understand how that was even physically possible in the slightest. And now that I'm older and have consumed a good amount of beer, I still don't know how that isn't physically possible. So it's nice to know that some mysteries still remain. Is there a quick memory or something on the faster side that you could share, Jared, before we talk about real quick about the upcoming game?
Down a bunch. But I guess it's funny. You both went with your favorite game, and you both picked the 2011 Fitzpatrick victory over Tom Brady. The only fun story about that, from my perspective, is I Dan's father called me the day before saying I was going, and then Dan went. So I actually was supposed to go briefly. But I misunderstood your dad completely. He called me up the morning of the game and was like, no, like Keith is going. But he said Dan. I just totally misheard it. So I thought some random guy named Keith was going. And then I found out it was Dan. So
Well,
that
that
was,
that softened the blow.
yeah. But it's interesting you both brought up New England, because I would say, oh God, it's I can't really pick a game, but the Patriots playoff game when we beat them, when Belichick was still the coach, that would probably be. I mean, it's a playoff win. I don't know how much more I can pick it. And it was against the Patriots. We destroyed them. It was cold. It was -2 or whatever. Um, I don't know if that's my favorite game, but I would definitely say that that one was a very special game. You just knew there was something special about it when you were there with the playoff atmosphere and anything. And to this day, it's the only playoff game I've ever been to. I wrote down a few. Um,
Well,
Bengals
save
preseason
your best for the finish, Jared. We need to talk. We need to crowbar the Jets in here real quick. Um,
All right,
you,
we'll do the Jets first. Go ahead.
this is a question I'll ask everyone, but Jared, since you're talking, I'll start with you. Last game of the season, we are facing the Jets. It has very little implications for the playoffs. It would seem that the Jacksonville Jaguars are our most likely opponent, no matter what. In a perfect situation, like what would be the perfect outcome, or what could happen to the game to make it a perfect bow tied on the stadium?
The number one is a win. I mean, like if we lost this Jets game, like I couldn't think of a worse way to go out. And I mean, it's not impossible, because I don't know if the Bills are going to rest anybody. I mean, it might not be a horrible idea to rest anybody. So you're going to be playing around with that a little bit, but I can't, I don't want to tank this game. You know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl is possible, but it seems really unlikely. So so I really don't want to go out of the stadium without winning the last game.
That's like two losses in a row.
Was it two losses? Oh
Well,
yeah,
I
it
mean,
would be. It would be two
yeah.
losses. Yeah.
All
So
right. That ended nice and positive. Excellent. Sean, can you save us? What would you like to see to tie a nice bow on the stadium?
Yeah, so I like to see James Cook get the rushing title. So he's got like 57 yards. He has to stay in front. So I think the Colts play before us because the game's at 4:25, and I think the Colts play earlier. So to see wherever he's at, get him his rushing title. I think it'd be really big for him and his family. Especially, I think his brother did something similar. Um, Josh is one touchdown away from 40 touchdowns. So definitely, I think they might have him stay out there for one drive just to get him that record. I think that's an important milestone. Um, yeah, definitely winning. I think I don't know if they won the first game. I think they lost to the Jets the first game. No, they won.
we
The
destroyed
first
them.
game of the stadium?
Yeah, I think they.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean back in '73? Yeah, I have no idea what the score was.
That's like Jared, they're coming
I
through
know.
with the
I do. They play the Jets at
I
that
think
game as
they
well.
did. I think they did win, if I'm not mistaken. I was actually not to cut you off, Sean, but I was looking at this earlier. The second to last, or the second home game of the old stadium of the current stadium was the Eagles also. So it's funny that they were the second to last
Oh,
team.
weird bookend.
But sorry, continue, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, so that would be cool to open with a win and close with a win, I guess. So two wins against the Jets there. The Jets are going to be, trying hard because, all those players are possibly going to be moving teams or, want to prove themselves to stay on the Jets. And then obviously they have an interim coach. So definitely think that they're going to be going all out. And the Bills are going to be playing a lot of backups. They can't play everyone, backup wise because there's only 53 guys on the roster, so it's like I think 48 dress. So, um, you can't sit everyone, but like I said, some of those players will get in, get some records. I'm sure there's incentives. They're going to play people, have some fun with it. I'm sure there's some type of record with percentages of snaps or touchdowns or yards that they're going to try and get someone. So.
I like the obtainable objective goals. Excellent. All right, Dan, what would you like to see for the end of the season?
Nothing
End of the
crazy. I
era.
just don't get hurt and yeah, win. It's kind of a weird feeling because I think the vibes might be a little bit different if either, let's say, they did not make the playoffs and they knew this would be the last game of the season, or they won the division and they knew they'd be getting another home game. But the fact that we want to celebrate the last game of the stadium, and also we're worried about the playoffs that are going to be after that. It's kind of it's a weird feeling, kind of, to close out the stadium. But yeah, as long as they win, and everyone's just going to be kind of reminiscing, and it's going to be definitely an emotional day at the stadium. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are kind of just going to be reminiscing the whole time.
How long we'll stick with you and go reverse order. Dan, how long before you think the fans start ripping parts of the stadium off to take with them on their way out?
Well, they're selling seats, but I feel like they should just let fans tear off the seats that they've been sitting in for 40 years, especially the bleachers. Like, they're charging $500 for those stupid ass bleachers. Like, those things are those should be like free. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
Given the chance to steal something, are you taking something on your way out?
Well, you got to remember that there's a possibility that we might play a playoff game. So I
That's
don't
true.
think they will allow that, as small as it is, because I think we will be the 7. Um, we might be the 6, but yeah. So I don't think they'll let that happen. And you know what? I'm not really that sentimental these days. And we moved seats 3 times in the 20 years we've had seasons. So
But
not really.
Jared, you're the most organized out of all of us. If anyone's got a plan, you do. What do you plan on stealing?
Not going to be there this game. So the answer is nothing. I can't steal anything. I won't be there.
Exactly.
Or Jared, what do you want me to steal from section
Well,
124? I can
also,
steal a
exactly
bunch.
what someone with a plan to steal something would say.
The seat 18. Because I mean, okay. If anybody wants to find us now, you know exactly where we are. Well, I didn't say the row, so you have to go through every row. But yeah, if you could somehow tear off seat 18 from the bleachers.
There's lots of seat 18s that you can just lie to them. Yeah.
But I also wouldn't mind meeting a fan, though. So if any viewers want to come and have a conversation,
Yeah.
I'll probably be
But
selling beer in 315, so you can look for me up there outside the concourse. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Jared's got one more sentimental story that he wants to share about the stadium, and we'll end with that. But I'm sure we'll be back for the playoffs. We cannot wait. It's been a fun season, wrapping up the last season of the stadium with the Bills, and we'll talk to you real soon. Jared, give us your favorite memory of the Bills you want to share.
I'll just share 2 quickly. One, I was saying before, the Bengals preseason game 2002, a lot happened in that one game. First of all, it was the first time our 2 youngest cousins weren't born yet. So all 7 of us were actually there. Like, there's a picture of us, and we're all like, Dan, even you. I know you don't remember it because you were 3, but all of us were at the game. I don't know how we did the seating, but we were all there. At that same game, Justin also came to the game, and my stuff got stolen. I got on the jumbotron. The only time I got on the jumbotron, like, it was just me. I got on briefly when you were 10, Dan. And then my stuff got stolen. So Justin and I searched the stadium. Now, Randy, I think you can relate to the story because everyone cleared out. It was just me and Justin. We were the last 2 in the stadium, like literally the last 2. And he was at the end zone. I was at the 50, and we're talking to each other as if we were like right next to each other. That's how empty the stadium was. You could hear the acoustics carried our voices. And, I was pissed at the time because I lost all my stuff. I had a lot of stuff. But looking back on it, I'm like, oh my God, I had the whole stadium to myself for like 10 minutes. And Randy, I know you've been through this yourself because of your job. Or maybe there's more people than I see, but you take all those pictures of yourself, like in the rows by yourself. And then I guess the end on one final note. I got to sit with Papa once, my grandfather. That was really cool. We ironically left the game early because I got too cold, and there's our 78-year-old grandfather who was toughing it out, and I don't know why Grandma didn't go that day, but yeah, it was a Patriots game. Flutie went in for Johnson, and we lost. Right, we should have won, but we lost in overtime. But yeah, that was just in hindsight, that was a good game.
All right, that's what makes Bills fans fandom special. All right, thank you, Jared. Thank you, fans. We'll see you again soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right, I'll stop recording.